shine out there, and definitely not seeing that right now as we overlook our resort cam. This is looking at Blowing Rock. It is beautiful though. Just kind of snippets, little snapshots here of these cameras. You can see the snow starting to even cover the roads there, roads that have been treated. They will continue to see that snowfall over the next several hours, really throughout the day, picking up the most measurable snowfall so far this season across our high country communities. So good news for those ski resorts. I know a lot of them already kicking off the season, some natural and good man-made and some natural snow being made up across the high country. So you can see that system and what it's bringing us. Now, we just don't have too much moisture to work with. We have some, but I don't even think all of this is making it down to the ground. However, it will likely be cooling us, setting the stage for any wraparound moisture that does occur here across the Piedmont to potentially fall as some brief snowflakes. So is it possible? You look out the window and see some snow today? Yeah, it is. Even here in Charlotte, will it be measurable or really disruptive? No, it won't. The rainfall certainly will be, though. So you look at live radar right now. I'll zoom in to areas across our high country communities. So you can see Ashwaubenon into Avery County, seeing that snow falling. Otherwise, we are looking at that rain across areas like Lenore, Morganton, Taylorsville, over into Hickory as well. So we do have rain to contend with and snow out there this morning. We also have some dense fog out there. Now, the National Weather Service did get rid of that dense fog advisory, but we do still have some low visibility out there this morning. You're running at just a quarter of a mile for that visibility right now in Chester, about 4 miles in Charlotte, and then in Rock Hill as well. So visibility, not too much of an issue this morning. The rain, however, will continue to be as this system continues to push eastward. Look what happens. Areas across the triangle, even into Raleigh, Durham area, Winston-Salem, they could actually get some measurable snowfall, more likely than areas in Charlotte. Now, Charlotte, I'll go ahead and play this out. We could see a couple of snow flurries start to make it east of I-77, try to get towards Charlotte and Monroe. This is over the next, I would say probably about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and then it's out of here. So again, a couple wet snowflakes certainly possible, but this is looking like rain here across. Just a plain brownie. I could just do the box brownies and make sure your house smells so good. I'm here for that. Right now, let's go ahead and look at Beech Mountain. It looks beautiful, like a winter wonderland out there, especially with the trees all lit up there. This is your current view. It's 29 degrees in Beech Mountain right now. Wow, look at Uptown, 37 degrees, but beautiful out here right now. We're just starting off really nice. It's chilly out there this morning, though. This is a look at our weather stem camera, 37 degrees. Looking at that wind, it is calm out there. Visibility running at 4 miles, and we are seeing some showers out there right now, but certainly not too much. And it is just going to fall in the way of a cold rain here across the Charlotte area for the most part. Is it possible we get a couple of flakes flying? Yeah, it is, but that's going to be with some wraparound moisture if we even get that moisture and if those temperatures can support it. So right now we'll look at your future track because this is what you want to know. Is it going to snow in my neighborhood? If you're in Ashwaubenon, Avery counties, look out the window. It is snowing right now. Is it going to snow across the foothills? Yeah, I do think you guys are going to get a little bit, possibly just kind of dusting and coating the grassy surfaces up to an inch across areas north of I-40. We look east of I-77 into areas like Salisbury, Concord, Kannapolis, even into areas like Statesville. I do think it's possible upwards of 1/10 of an inch could fall if we get that wraparound moisture. A couple of flakes could fall, Charlotte and points west. This model, this one particular model I'm showing you, this is the graph. This is one model that is showing that wraparound moisture potentially falling as some snowfall. Another model that we use, the HER, it's really not showing too much, possibly a wet flake or two. So I would not hang your hat up on seeing snow as we head through the day today, unless you are up in the high country. If you see it, it'll be nice, but it'll be not a problem, not causing any issues out there as we travel through the next several hours. So here's what I put together for you. We're looking at about 2 to 4 inches of snow across areas of Ashwaubenon and Avery counties, possibly looking at a rain to snow across areas of I-40, upwards of an inch, and then really a cold rain. If you like snow, you could see a couple flakes and get excited about that. But again, it's not going to cause any issues out on the roads or for school systems out there for today here across the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area. 40 degrees though, that's all we get to for today. Overnight lows tonight will be falling into the teens and the 20s. So it is going to be very, very cold out there for your Tuesday, 42 degrees, and then by Wednesday, 54. So we are starting to increase those temperatures by the middle of the week before another cold snap heads our way. But you guys, I would say the biggest story, snow, talking about it's a little bit of fun, but it's non-disruptive. It's going to be the temperatures out there tomorrow. Any moisture still left on the ground, we have to watch out for black ice as you wake up on Tuesday morning. Check out that low temperature. I'm talking teens and 20s on the power lines, out on the roads as well. It looks stunning outside right now, though. Roads are traveling anywhere across the high country. You guys will be seeing some of that snow accumulation already impacting that morning drive out there. Now, live radar right now showing this system that's marching here across the area. We are starting to get some of this rain making it to the ground here in the Piedmont, but it is just a cold rain for the Charlotte area once again, 3 times in the last, 7 to 8 days. We're looking at live radar. Is it possible we get a little bit of wraparound snow flurries here in Charlotte, especially areas like Salisbury, Concord, Kannapolis? I certainly think it's going to be possible, but it's just not going to amount to much in the way of measurable snowfall or accumulating snow. Outside of the high country, I am anticipating about 2 to 4 inches across areas of Ashwaubenon and heading into Avery counties there. Snow is falling right now. Time is 7:40, and it will continue as you guys travel through the next several hours as well. Let's go ahead and look at your visibility, because this is another thing that could disrupt that morning drive down in Chester. You guys are looking at just a 1/4 mile for that visibility. We did have a dense fog advisory, but that dense fog advisory has since expired. Less than a 1/4 mile right now in Wadesboro as well. Let's turn to your future track. We are checking out where and when we could see some of those snow flurries here across the Piedmont. Now, this is showing about 8 a.m. I'm not anticipating it to be this widespread. I think this model, I will say, I think it's overdoing it a little bit, but you get the gist. I think areas east of I-77, closer to Winston-Salem, Greensboro region, you guys could see that brief kind of burst of snow. And if you do, 1/10 of an inch is possible, but I'm thinking just a couple of flakes. And honestly, I think most of us is just a cold rain transitioning to that drier air. This is 10 a.m. Good, but again, it's not going to disrupt anything or amount to anything. That is going to stay across areas of the high country where that accumulating snow will end up being. We'll start to dry out, but boy, do we cool down in a big way early Tuesday morning. We have to watch out for that ice potential out there since we do have that moisture on the roads. Here's a look at kind of what I'm anticipating, what I just walked you through, but in a different way to explain it. We're looking at about 2 to 4 inches across the high country, upwards of an inch across the foothills, mainly north of I-40, and then a cold rain with a few flakes possible here across. Accumulating snow right there out on areas of the power poles. So just heads up, it's going to be a little bit messy out there. The roads are already getting covered as well across the high country. I'm part of a Facebook group in Caldwell County, and those roads are already getting a little bit messy traveling into Boone. So really into areas of Watauga County. I know Blue Ridge Parkway, going to be a little bit messy out there for today. Now, what's not too messy out on the roads is here in the Piedmont. Charlotte not looking bad, but we do have that rain out there and some of those low-hanging clouds. Now, we do have cloud cover that is pretty abundant outside as well. This is our weather stem cam looking over the Bank of America Stadium, where temperatures are sitting at 37 degrees. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of rain, but here in the Piedmont, it is just a cold, misty drizzle for us. So let me know what you're seeing in your neighborhood as well. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram just to be our eyes to where you are. But we are just seeing primarily that rainfall here across the Piedmont, up across areas of the high country. That's where we're seeing that snow. Now, is it possible to see some flakes fly anywhere outside of the mountains? Yeah, I would say it certainly is. It's not going to bring any type of accumulation, though. It is, I would say, possible if the stars align, we could get a little bit of brief kind of burst of snow into areas of Cabarrus County, heading into even parts of Salisbury, looking at Statesville into Concord and Kannapolis. Yeah, we could get that brief burst of snow that could maybe look like a trace, but here in Charlotte, maybe just a couple wet snowflakes for you guys, primarily going to be looking at that cold rain. So as we kind of lay this out for you, who's going to see what? Mainly going to be mountain snow. So looking at Ashwaubenon, Avery counties, about 2 to 4 inches. And then as you head south of there, looking at rain and then possibly transitioning into some of that snow, maybe enough to cover some of the grassy surfaces across areas of the foothills. And then just looking at that cold rain with some flakes certainly possible here across the Piedmont as we travel through about the 10-11 o'clock hour into this morning and afternoon. So for today, 40 degrees here across the mountain, or here for your Monday, 42 for that high temperature on Tuesday. We're warming by Wednesday to 54 degrees, you guys, but I need to show you this because this is really one of the biggest stories. Is going to be that cold air that arrives tonight. We are going to see low temperatures in the teens across the high country and in the 20s here in the Piedmont. That's going to lead to some freezing, so some black ice out there on the roads. Any moisture that does remain tonight this morning. As Taylor mentioned, this is looking from our Blowing Rock camera. This is the Resort Cams camera, allowing us to show you this beautiful snowy scene up there. It looks really nice, but you guys, the sidewalks, the roads, the steps there, the railings, all getting covered. So please be careful up across the high country. I know several schools are canceled for today, remote learning or delayed. So just check in with that school system, your school district up there to get the latest information. Now we are starting to see that moisture probably making it to the ground, not everywhere as you look at live radar though. And I want to go ahead and zoom in here so you can see. You would say, hey, look, it's raining like everywhere in the Piedmont. Well, it's just not making it to the ground everywhere. Some areas it is though. And I do think over the next hour or so, we could get some big wet snowflakes mixing in as well. So just heads up, you could see snow out there today. You might be excited. The kids might be excited looking out the window as well. It's not going to amount to too much in the way of accumulation, though likely nothing here in Charlotte. It is possible we could see a very light dusting across areas of maybe northern Cabarrus County into kind of the northeastern sector of our viewing area, but it is looking like primarily those accumulations are going to be staying up across our mountain communities. And you can see why. Look at live radar. It is just dumping snow across areas of Ashwaubenon, even into Avery counties right now. It is beautiful out there. It's cold though. I do anticipate about 2 to 4 inches of snow. Some of the higher elevations certainly going to be picking up some more though in the way of accumulation over the next several hours. You look at the visibility and it is low. Jefferson, Wadesboro, Chester, you guys are all running less than a quarter of a mile in terms of that visibility right now. Now let's go ahead and run your future track for you so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. A brief kind of wraparound snow band right about here, about 10 a.m. is possible where we could see a few flakes fly. But again, this is not going to mount into accumulation here in the Piedmont. That is going to stay up across our high country communities, still continuing to snow by 5-6 o'clock in the evening tonight across the high country. That's where they get that 2 to 4 inch of accumulation. Here across the Charlotte area, it is looking like a cold rain for us with a couple of flakes flying. Now the moisture that we're seeing today could still remain on the ground. And if it does overnight, check out these overnight temperatures, teens and 20s out there. So that's where we get that refreezing and that black ice potential. So please be careful early tomorrow morning. We are going to be dealing with that potential for some icy conditions. Treated roads there, still covered with some of that snow. You can see the snow out on the buildings. It's beautiful. As you look up in the high country, some areas already reporting 3+ inches, and there's still several hours to go of this. We look out at our Morganton camera and I'm looking really close. I'm like, are we seeing a couple snowflakes? I'm not seeing any of that from this camera view. It's possible you're getting a little bit of a mix, but I'm thinking just a little bit of a misty drizzle type of nasty rain out there for you folks in Morganton. 37 degrees with a calm wind and that visibility, of course, running a little bit low. So here's that weather system that we have been tracking throughout the morning hours. Are we seeing some rain here in Charlotte? Yeah, I do think the atmosphere starting to get a little bit more saturated, and it is cooling as well. So I do think we could see a few wet flakes, certainly still not out of the question. Is it going to accumulate? No, I'm not anticipating any accumulation outside of the high country. Still looking like a little bit of rain in Charlotte. We have been seeing some reports of sleet perhaps, but really that's not going to cause any issues out there on the roads. It is just going to be that cold rain here in the Piedmont that could end up slowing some things down for you. Ashwaubenon, Avery counties, you guys still getting in on this snow. It looks quite nice up there. The biggest snowfall so far this season for you, which is wonderful news for those ski resorts. We do have some dense fog out there. That advisory was dropped, but areas like Chester County, over in Naboon, Jefferson, you guys are running at less than a quarter of a mile for that visibility outside right now. So you look at your future track, and I'll go ahead and step this through time. Now, this is right about now, and you can see it's not really verifying. I think that what we're seeing up high, a couple miles up, is not transitioning to what we're seeing here on the ground. So just heads up, could we see some flakes? Yeah, I do think we could, especially north and east of Charlotte. But again, nothing measurable outside of the high country, where those areas will still be seeing snow by about noon, 1, even 2 o'clock into the afternoon. So picking up a couple more inches across the high country. So my first thought was about 2 to 4, but I'm going upwards of even close to 5 inches of snow across parts of the high country toward areas like Banner Elk, Beach Mountain, Blowing Rock. You could see even a little bit more than that. But this is going to be that cold rain. Once again, the third one in a row for us here in the Charlotte area. But tomorrow morning, you guys, with any moisture still left on the ground, these are your temperatures. This is your actual temperature. Teens across the high country, talking 20s across areas of the Piedmont. So we will have to look for the potential for some refreezing and some black. Make your commute a little bit treacherous out there this morning, but we're not dealing with any ice or measurable snow here across the Piedmont. So we go ahead and look at live radar, and you can see where some of that rain is being depicted here on radar. But again, not all of this is even making it to the ground. We have seen a couple of reports, kind of some conflicting reports. So let us know what you're seeing in Cabarrus County. Some people saying sleet, some people saying it's just a little bit of rain out here. Either way, it's not going to mess up that commute for you this morning in terms of any type of wintry precipitation. Now, rain, we know how we drive in the rain around here, so please be careful. It is cold, it is wet out there this morning. It is snowy, though, across areas of Ashwaubenon into Avery counties. It does look like possibly a little bit of that snow is making it into parts of the foothills and those eastern facing slopes there. I've been seeing reports of 321 totally backed up, so please be careful out there. The roads are a mess. Even those roads that were treated, it's been cold and things are starting to stick out there. We look at your future track. Could we see some snowflakes here in the Piedmont, especially north and east of Charlotte? Yeah, I think we still could see some flakes, but you guys, this is not going to amount in the way of accumulation. That is going to stay across Ashwaubenon and Avery counties. As we travel through the day, highs in the Piedmont really struggling to get to 40 degrees out there today. So it is going to be cold and it will be cloudy as we travel through the day today. But this is one of the biggest stories, you guys. Tomorrow morning, we will be waking up in the teens and in the 20s. It is going to be brutally cold out there. Pets, they need to be inside. It is going to be way too cold. Any moisture that's still on the ground could certainly refreeze, and we could have a black ice concern, especially for the high country into the foothills, but even possible here across parts of the Piedmont on those side streets and shaded areas. So for today, 40 degrees and